Colin. He's my friend. He's a Hall of Famer. He's a Super Bowl champ. His son's going to be playing in the game. He's NFL on Fox. Let's bring him on. Howie Long is in Los Angeles and not the Super Bowl. Usually you're at the big shindig, so you're just hanging out in L.A.
Yeah. Our other boy, Kyle, had a couple of surgeries yesterday, so just out here making sure he's good. He's good to go.
All right. So, listen, a lot of people think I'm nutty, but...
Do they?
And
that's a shock.
Okay, all I'm saying is I have a theory, and it's only because of clues. Okay? My clues are Belichick's going opposite brand. He's literally got no succession plan at quarterback if 40-year-old Tommy gets hurt. He's now making calls on behalf of his coordinators. And, oh, yeah, now he's a stand-up comedian at the Super Bowl. Howie.
Oh, I don't know. That's a reach.
Well, okay, it's a reach, but he's more glib than he's been.
I think doing the thing with Bill Parcells and giving more access.
Howie, am I nuts?
And Brady doing Tom versus time. You know, it's kind of like the Russian nuclear building, which has been off access for decades and decades. Suddenly we're doing interviews in the nuclear facility.
Why is that?
I don't know. It certainly would. If you're thinking at some point here it's going to end, I don't know. I have no indication that that's the case.
But you don't think I'm crazy?
Look, you're a grassy knoll guy. I know that. And I'm sure he gets a pretty big kick out of this, and Tom gets a pretty big kick out of this to a certain extent. I'm not sure when it's going to end, but they certainly are giving more access than they typically do.
By a lot.
I mean, it's... You know, the safest place to keep your money would be the Patriots facility. I mean, no one's getting in.
Right.
Yeah.
So, by the way, the Tom versus Time documentary, you could say he's obsessed. I'm fascinated by it. You know, you're a clean living guy now. My wife says this often. She's like, God, he looks fantastic. And I think part of it is you have a really great family. You got a smart wife who challenges you. But you're a guy that's taking care of yourself. You look fantastic. I'm watching this Brady stuff. And I'm laughing at it. He's like, I could sit here all day and watch film. And he's drinking a kale shake. And is there, in all this, like, obsessive nature, how obsessive were you at the end? Do you think it's a little weird?
I was horribly obsessive. Not like him in terms of the training. God, I think, gives everyone different physical abilities. And Tom, you saw him at the combine. And I think when you stack Tom up physically against quarterbacks, like, for example, Terry Bradshaw, when Terry played, Terry was a freak of nature.
Terry today.
I mean, cannon, could run like a deer,
thick,
all those things.
Trunky, thick.
Yeah, and he still is. He's thick, but a little thicker than he'd probably like right now. But he's thick, and he was a great athlete. But when you stack him up against... You know, ironically enough, I think the thing that defined the two quarterbacks of this generation, Brady and Manning, it's not their physical abilities.
No.
It's the head and the heart.
Yep.
It's the preparation. I'm not only going to review what you've done this season, I'm going to go back 4 seasons and look at what you did in the third quarter versus the Bengals in a game when you were down by 20.
You know what I think that is, Howie? I think the game's smarter. We don't have.
You have more information. I went from I would literally tape a sheet up on my bedroom wall and do reel-to-reel film when I first got in the league. I would have to carry a VCR on the plane with me to take it, get the security guy up in the hotel room to unscrew the pay-per-view box to put my VCR in there. They have it's on your iPad. You can see every cut-up of every situation.
Howie, I've been told that when the game ends and you get on the plane,
you got it.
You've got the film ready to go.
I've got a breakdown of the previous 3 games of every conceivable situation. 3rd and long, 2 tight ends, 2 running backs. On the flight home. There's no telling. I'd be crazy.
Okay, Howie Long's joining us, a Hall of Famer. You know, the Brady and the Michael Jordan comparisons are obvious. First of all, they both had great coaches, Phil and Belichick. They both had really good players. Maybe not the best, but good teammates, Scottie Pippen, your Gronks. And both are the greatest of all time in their respective sports. And they both had a little controversy. MJ, was he gambling when he retired? Spygate, you know. But to me, the separator is, and I think you may agree, first of all, I think it's harder to win in football. You have a bad game, you're over. I mean, Michael Jordan had multiple bad games against the Sonics in the finals, against the Jazz. There's a tomorrow.
Well, we play 17 games, 16 games in a 17-week season, and the playoffs are not best of 7, best of 5. It's one game. Who's hot? Who plays well that day? I think it's far more difficult to field a competitive football team with a 53-man roster, offense, defense, sub packages on both defense and offense, special teams, kicking games, situational football, and the numbers. And I gave your research person the numbers. Over Brady's career, I think it was.
Here it is right here.
Here it is right
now,
here.
Now look at this, folks.
67 different wide receivers,
Okay.
63 different offensive linemen, 46 different tight ends, 46 different running backs.
Okay. That's incredible.
No, it's amazing. And the other thing that's so impressive, the constants have been, it's Bill, it's Robert Kraft, it's Tom Brady, and to a certain extent Gronk. I mean, I can be you can be me. We're all interchangeable. Therefore, we're all replaceable in this salary cap era.
Right.
And when you consider it, who are the great dynasty teams? Terry's team with the Steelers, the Dallas Cowboys. You name
Bill Walsh.
Yeah, you name the team. San Francisco. They had pretty much the same group.
At least the same brains.
The same brains, but a lot of the same players, same running back, same wide receiver. It was Jerry Rice, Taylor, it was that same group. Rathman at fullback, and the defense was pretty constant. They added some pieces. They brought in Dion, and,
right.
This is the Roman Empire, what they've done. They will out-prepare you. Their ability to change season to season, week to week, half to half, quarter to quarter, series to series.
We've never seen that.
Unparalleled.
Okay, now your son, Chris, played for the Patriots for a year. Belichick actually said this week, he said, actually, he fits better with Philly than he did with us. We loved him, but sometimes players fit different in cultures. So now your son's with Philadelphia, and if you don't have to give away any secrets here, Howie, but let's talk a little bit about just the vibe, the locker room, the cultures, the differences between the two.
Well, there's the Patriots and there's everybody else.
Okay.
In terms of culture.
All right.
It's on lockdown. I think there's people in the building that, your key card only gets you on the 3rd and 2nd floor, but it doesn't get you on the 4th floor. I mean, that's the kind of.
It's the CIA.
It really is. And it's remarkable that more things don't get out, but they don't. And their players all give you the pat answer on a weekly basis.
Right.
And it's, the difference between, for example, the difference between Jacksonville and New England, their approach to the upcoming game.
Completely different.
Completely different.
Jacksonville's
if someone
got a
in that locker room, you know what? If there's the fear that you have on Sunday of playing poorly on one play and coming in on Monday morning and having to deal with Bill Belichick.
What did Chris, your son, though, take away, watching Brady practice? Because so much of this, we forget this. Brady practices a lot more than he plays. And your son watched those practices. Any takeaways on Tom facing him, being a teammate, just kind of the whole thing?
I think relentless. His preparation is relentless. His attention to detail, the situational football, not only for Tom, but for Bill and everyone on that coaching staff. The expectation of everyone in the building is that their preparation has to match that preparation that Bill approaches and Tom approaches the game with. It's not for everyone. And they've had players come in there, really talented players at wide receiver, at defensive end, at other positions. Week to week, your role changes. You could be getting 20 carries one week, and then the next week you get 0 carries. That's just the way that team works. And it's whatever, when Bill says, and people make fun of it all the time, we'll do whatever's best for the team. They truly do whatever's best for the team.
Now, there's a feeling, I was reading a story yesterday, Pro Football Focus is one of those, Chris Collinsworth owns that baby, I think. If you ever go to PFF?
No.
Oh, I do. Oh, I think it's pretty good.
Well, you would.
Yeah, because I got a gigantic brain that needs nourishment.
I don't have a gigantic brain, so I just look at the film.
Oh, be quiet. You're the smartest guy in our building. All right, so anyway, it's called Pro Football Focus. And I can judge for myself